But you gotta have starch or you'll die. Good morning, friends. I hope y'all had a wonderful week, and I hope that you're having a great Labor Day weekend. Chris and I, we've had a pretty good weekend, although today's rainy, so we won't be able to get out and grill anything. But that's all right. Don't have to grill on Labor Day, but we'll just enjoy our day inside, relaxing. The weather has cooled off. This whole week is not supposed to hit the hundreds, and guys, I'm excited about that. It's going to be in the 80s as a high, I think. So I'm looking forward to this week for sure. How's the weather where y'all are at? Is it looking cooler? Is it still staying in the hundreds for where y'all are at? Let me know. Well, guys, I got some things to talk to y'all about. I want to talk to y'all about my eye doctor appointment I had this past week. And, I don't think I've ever talked about my vision. My last year's eye doctor appointment was before I created this channel. So I don't think I've ever actually had a reason or a time where talking about my vision was topical. So I'm going to update y'all on that. And then also, I'm going to talk about what my thoughts are going forward, what my strategy is going to be, because I still have some goals that I want to reach. And I'm going to hit these goals. All right, well, let's get to it. So, guys, I've been seeing my eye doctor, and it's Dr. Reaver. And let me be clear about something. I love my eye doctor. He's the sweetest guy. And he's older, so I know he's going to be retiring. I say relatively soon. I don't know when, but he won't be my eye doctor for many more years, which makes me sad. But I'll love him while I have him. But anyways, I actually started seeing him the same year I got diagnosed with type 2 diabetes, and so he's kind of been with me on this journey, kind of. I mean, as much as the eye doctor is going to be, right? But anyways, so he just knows that my A1C was a 12.6, and he last year when I came in, he asked me what my new A1C was, and I got to tell him it was 4.5, and he asked me what I was doing, and I didn't say carnivore, but I just said I removed my carbs and sugar for my diet. And he made some kind of comment of, well, I like meat, but I gotta have my potato too. And that's as far as that conversation went, right? And that was last year. All right. And then so let me also talk about what my vision's like. So when I was first diagnosed with diabetes and I went to see him, I was really worried about what he was going to say when my eyes were like, as far as damage from diabetes, right? Um, thank God I had not yet had any damage from diabetes in my eyes. He said that he couldn't see any, as far as my eyes were concerned, he couldn't see any kind of diabetic damage done at all. Um, and then we find out for sure that this eye was okay, but this eye was weaker than that eye, right? Okay, so fast forward to last year's um, eye doctor appointment. I was really excited to go see him last year because I've heard other people say that their eyesight has improved, doing carnivore. And I was like, well, I wonder if mine's improved, right? I don't seem to be having any, issues. Let's find out. Guys, let me tell y'all something. You know how they do you. They'll sit you down in the chair and they're like, cover this side, and you're reading the smallest line that you can. And they start with you like this, and this is my good eye, mind you, right here. And I'm reading the very smallest line, no problem, right? And then they make you do this. And when I cover this eye, I'm like, and it's a little bit blurrier, and then they can take your glasses off and they repeat the process. Well, when we repeat the process, this eye right here, it's great. I can still read the bottom line. This eye, guys, I couldn't even read the top line, the biggest line. I couldn't read it at all. And that freaked me out. So he came in and he was like, so we see that your eye right here is a lot weaker than the other one, but he's acting like it's kind of normal. To me, that doesn't seem normal at all. And I asked him, am I gonna go blind in that eye? Because I'm freaked out. Right. He's like, no, it's just that one eye is weaker than the other. I said, well, I was kind of hoping for some improvement since, I changed my diet and, my A1C is down to 4.5. And he was like, well, and guys, now if y'all know anything about this, maybe y'all can explain it to me, because to this day, it still makes no sense what he told me. Okay. But this is what he told me. He was like, well, When you got all that sugar in your system, and he did this, he gave me the example. He's like, your lens on your eye kind of looks like that. But when the sugar leaves, your lens deflates and it kind of goes back to where it should be. It looks more like that. So then you get a true picture of what your vision really is in the eye. And to me, when he said that, it's basically he's saying that I had better vision when I had all the sugar in my system, which made no sense to me. But I'm not gonna look. I'm a timid person. If you knew me in real life, you would know that I don't like conflicts. I'm not gonna say anything that's gonna might make him feel like I'm questioning him because I never intend for that to happen. But I worry that will come off like that. So I don't say anything. I'm just like, oh, okay. But in my head, I'm like, that makes zero sense whatsoever. Needless to say, last year I did not leave with a report of improvement. But that's all right. At least I wasn't going blind. So fast forward to this appointment. I go in there. Now look, some of this is a repeat conversation, but I'm probably his millionth patient and he's my only eye doctor. So I'm going to remember more clearly our conversation from last year than he's going to remember me, right? So we get in there and he's like, well, what's your new A1C? And I said, well, it's 4.4 with the average glucose of 80. And he was like, he turned around and looked at me. He was like, wow, getting in the fours, that's almost unheard of. What are you doing? I said, well, I mostly my diet, it's my change my diet, and that's all I can get out. Now he's a very talkative person. It's hard to get a word in. He's not rude. He's really friendly and just outgoing. So it's he don't mean to. But that's all I could get out. And he was like, well, you know what you should be doing? If you can kill it, then you should be able to eat it, right? If you can pick it up off the ground, and while he's telling me this, now look, he's got that machine, I'm gonna call it machine on my face, right? Where I'm supposed to be trying to if what line's better and blurrier, but he's not actually looking at me just yet. He's still at the computer. And so, he's telling me this and I'm getting excited, I'm like, I'm like, he's describing carnivore. Is he carnivore? He's not saying carnivore, but he's describing it. He's talking about eating animals, right? Meat. And he was like, now look, you can pick a potato up off the ground, right? But should you be eating it? Probably not. And I thought, yeah, he's carnivore. And then he ruined it all. He said, but you got to have starch or you'll die. And my heart just sank. And I'm glad he wasn't looking at me yet because I felt like my body language was telling the story of how excited I was and then how disappointed I was when he was like, well, you got to have starch or you're going to die. And part of me really wanted to be like, well, doctor, how much longer do I have? Because I haven't had starch in 2 years. But again, I'm timid and I avoid confrontation at all costs. Chris is like, Susan, you should have asked him that. You should have. And Dr. Reaper, he's very friendly. And I know he wouldn't have took that as an insulting thing, but I just didn't. But I really wanted to ask him that. But anyways, I was excited. I thought he was going to say he was carnivore, but no, that wasn't the case. But anyways, about my vision, when they had me tested this time like that, now guys, I thought he was going to tell me I had a slight improvement. Wasn't a whole lot. I thought he was going to because when I read the lines like this, when I had this eye covered, I remember this eye last year couldn't even read the top one. This year I read the second line, but it was blurry, but it was not so blurry I couldn't make out what was being, what was there. So I thought to myself, well, that's a slight improvement, right? Well, he didn't say it was any kind of improvement. But he did test me for bifocals. He's like, well, you're getting to that birthday, but I don't need bifocals yet. My eyes are healthy on both of them. He said this eye actually has 20/20 vision and this one's 20/40. And so I guess the only reason why I'm wearing glasses is because of this eye right here, But anyways, that's how my eye doctor appointment went. It wasn't a bad report, but I guess that's just my vision's gonna be what it's gonna be. And maybe that's why I'm not getting better. It's just because it's not anything about my diet. It's just weak. And that's just the way it's gonna be. And that's all right. I'm happy with the results I'm getting so far. I mean, we're gonna die one day no matter how perfectly we eat anyways, right? All right. Well, guys, so as y'all know, probably about a month ago. Oh, guys, hold on. Look, I'm going to give up on this towel. The reason why I put this towel up is because I have this ugly chair. And when I bought this chair, It was before this channel, and I'm a I'm a I'm a cheap person. And all the office chairs was like $500, $600. And this chair was like 200. And I thought, well, nobody's going to see this chair. I'll just take that. Nobody's going to see it. It don't have to be pretty, right? So I took that just to save a few $100s. I didn't know at the time I was going to be creating a channel, though. So I tried to put this towel over it to cover the chair because I think it's ugly. But man, that thing also slide down on me, and I think that's happened more than once by now. So y'all have already seen it anyway. So I guess I should just give up on that and let y'all see the old chair in all its glory, right? Anyways, as y'all know, about a month ago, I've changed up my ratios and what I eat to fat to protein. I'm supposed to be aiming for an 80-20, 80 fat to 20 protein, based off of Dr. Bright and what she tends to suggest for females who have thyroid issues. But you guys who have been following me the whole time, y'all know, y'all know I am not about counting macros. I hate it. I hate the ideal of it. Now, mainly for weight loss, right? But this whole weekend, I've been pondering on it. Maybe I should, at least for a time, count my macros. Because even this past month, I've not really been tracking my macros. I've just been guesstimating. I can tell you right now that I've definitely been eating a lot more fat than I'm usually have been in the past 2 years. So, but if I'm hitting the 80-20 perfectly, maybe not. I'm not counting the macros because I've got a bit of a stubborn nature to me. And I really don't want to have to do the macro tracking. However, it may be to my benefit to track my macros just for the time being and for multiple reasons. Actually, more so just because of my whole weight stall issue. Look, I've lost 105 pounds. 100 of it came before the stall, this massive stall I've been in. And the other 5 came from that egg fast I did about 2 months ago now, right? But I figure so it's been like 9 months now since I've had steady weight loss, right? And so I figure, when I first noticed I was hitting a stall, a plateau, I just assumed, well, heck, I lost 100 pounds. My body probably was like, hold on a minute, So I thought, don't panic. And so after, 4 or 5 months of it, I was like, yeah, it'll start again here pretty soon, but it's not really started again except for that egg fast. But I keep thinking back to that egg fast, and I think I said this in that video too. I was like, eggs aren't magical. They're very good in nutrition and they have the good macros. It seems to have that perfect macro, where you can, you have your eggs and then you just take that yolk without the white and you just got, and that boosts your fat to protein. And it just seems like a really easy way to hit your macros. And I'm thinking that's why the egg fast works as well as it does. So that's what makes me think, well, maybe I should quit being so freaking stubborn and track some macros, if only for a week. Because what if, guys, what if I've always believed in the eat until you're full, that you're comfortably full, okay? And then, let everything be natural. That's what I've been doing. That's what I wanted to happen. And I've not been starving myself, right? But I've also known that when I'm not losing weight, if I'm eating too much, I can't keep cutting back because I've always thought, am I eating enough? I feel like I'm eating enough. I'm not hungry. But I hear a lot of people talk about how it's easy to undereat even when you don't realize you're undereating, which means that you don't feel like you're undereating, but you are undereating. Well, am I hitting the protein that I should be hitting? If it's 1 gram per ideal body weight, well, I'm thinking I want to be about 140. So if I want to be about 140, that means going off that, I should be eating about 140 grams of protein a day. Am I really hitting that? I don't know. I'm just eating until I'm full. So, I think maybe for the next week or so, I'm going to track my macros. it'll at least give me a better idea of what I'm eating. And I eat almost the same stuff day in, day out. So, it stands to reason that I only need to do it a few times until I've got it memorized of what I'm eating. And that'll at least give me an idea. And to maybe stop doing the one meal a day, even though I really like that because I can just eat and be done with it and go on with my life. But, there are some who believe that, one meal a day might be too stressful on females. It's really important to intermittent fast when you are insulin resistant. But, I've took care of my diabetes. So I need to really start paying attention to my thyroid and maybe go to 2 meals a day. I've been trying to I've been having 2 meals a day here lately. Not every day, but sometimes I just forget about it. I'm so used to eating one meal a day. So that's the things I'm thinking about doing. I feel like I need to do, you know, uh, confession time, guys. Look, back when I first did an interview with Dave Mack, I mentioned the boil problem I had had. And a lot of people that watch him put in the comments, hey, check out Kelly Hogan. She had boils too. And so, I watched some of her videos and she seems like a really sweet lady, right? And I caught a video of hers where she had mentioned how she had lost all this weight and then all of a sudden it stopped. And bottom line was she figured out that she wasn't actually eating enough. So she had a reverse diet, which means increase her calories way back up. And she ended up gaining 25 pounds of it back before she started losing weight again. And when I heard that, I said, nope, I noped right on out of that. I said, oh, no, that is no, I'm not going to gain 25 pounds. I'm not doing it. You know, I did see another video of hers, and guys, if I could remember which one it was, I'd put it in the link below. Um, she was interviewing somebody. Anyways, point was, I'm glad I caught this one though. Again, she was talking about how she gained the 25 pounds back, but what she would have done now, if she had known back then, she would have slowly added more to her meal over time, and then she wouldn't have gained all that weight back. She would have slowly reversed it. So like if you were stuck doing 1,200 calories a day, right? And I don't know what my calories are because I don't count calories. So, but we'll just say 1,200 calories. And you get to this stall and you're determined, well, I'm not eating enough. I need to add more. Well, instead of going, okay, I'm just going to add 1,000 calories on top of that and gain, 25 pounds, add 50 calories a day and do that for a few weeks. And so then you do 1,250 and then you do it again for 1,300 and you slowly reverse it. And that should keep you from having to gain all this weight before you fix your metabolism where it starts losing again. So that's something I'm keeping in mind. But first, I'm just going to track what I'm usually eating. I have been noticing I've been more hungry lately, but that might have a lot more to do with all the exercise that I've been doing and enjoying doing. And that's another thing I want to talk to you about. I hit a milestone this past week. I told you about the push-up challenge I've been doing, but I was still doing the push-ups from the knees, which is fine if that's what all you can do, right? And finally, I have transitioned to doing the push-ups from the toes. I'm not getting even 100 in a day. I think the most I've done in one day so far doing the toes is 21. But you know what? Pat me on the back. It took almost 2 solid months of doing push-ups from the knees and the countertops to get me to this point. But I'm there, so I'm super excited about that. It's just a few of them. I just wanted to show y'all. I'm excited about it. But anyways, so that's what I'm going to try to do. And then in my next video next week, I'm going to show y'all what I'm eating, and I will list some of the macros on that, and we'll see what I'm hitting. Even we'll see if I'm hitting that fat to the 80-20 or not. If I'm not and I'm getting close to it, I'm going to call it good enough. I'm not going to stress. That's the thing about this is I want my life to be simple. So I don't want to complicate this if I don't have to, but I'm not, unwilling to change if I need to change something just so I can get my rest of my goals. I want to get that weight loss for my goal. And I want to heal my thyroid as well too, though. But anyway, so that is it. Well, my friends, it's been a pleasure. Thank you for listening. I love y'all. I'll see y'all in the next video. Bye-bye.